Good morning, everyone. Happy New Year and welcome back to school. We are now on our week 1 of the second quarter. This week, we are going to learn about language of research, campaigns, and advocacies. As a grade 10 student, you are being engaged in content and learning experiences that can help you gain deeper understanding of matters that will help you deal with real-world problems and solutions. In English, this involves understanding and using language to connect with others and creating a lasting impact within and across different disciplines. This lesson focuses on observing and understanding the common language used in the fields of research, campaigns, and advocacies. As you journey through this lesson, you are expected to gain a clear understanding of the language of persuasion and different language features employed when writing in these fields of interest. Language plays an essential role in our lives. More than just serving as a way for us to communicate with one another, language also enables us to inform, entertain, influence, and persuade others. This is usually the case when we engage in various fields of interest, like doing research work, campaigning for a specific cause, and supporting an advocacy. While the said fields differ at some extent, one common aspect that can be observed among them is the use of a common language. So today, we are going to learn the different language features or language devices that are usually employed in persuasive writing. The first one is the emotive language. This involves the use of words that evoke emotions and make people feel a certain way. Through the use of words that appeal to the emotion, the writer can sound more convincing. This is a commonly used technique when writing headlines in newspapers or delivering speeches. I have some samples of a non-emotive version and an unemotive version, so you will see the difference. In a non-emotive version, another person in the bar was injured by the man's glass, while the emotive version goes, an innocent bystander suffered facial injuries when the thug launched his glass across the bar. So with these two sentences, you will see what is the effect of an emotive language. Number 2, modal verbs. The use of words that express modality or how likely something is going to happen helps adjust the level of certainty of events to suit arguments. When carefully chosen, these words help improve the quality of persuasive writing. Very few ideas in academia can be stated as fact, so using modality allows academic writers to express with various degrees of certainty ideas that are not fact. Here's a table that shows the difference or the different modals which fall under low modality, medium modality, and high modality. A moderate low modality statement of opinion allows for a more tentative conclusion to be drawn. In comparison, a high modality opinion can appeal to the emotions and so can be perceived as persuasive and subjective. So if you want to encourage or to influence people to believe in you, you have to use high modality or high modality modal verbs. So I have here some sentences or some examples to see the difference. High modality, age can never be irrelevant. While low modality, it appears likely that age is rarely an irrelevant factor. So the one with the more impact would be or the one with the more impact to the reader would be the first one. Okay, because of the words or the phrase can never be. Age can never be irrelevant. Some more examples are here. Patients do benefit. Okay, you can actually write this as patients benefit, but to give more emphasis, you add the verb do. So you say patients do benefit. Now to negate, you say patients do not benefit. Now for low certainty, here's our example. Patients may benefit. Okay, that's not really certain. Okay, but when you say patients always benefit, you can influence people to believe because you said or you used the word always. Next, our third language device is involving the reader. Okay, once you involve the reader in the campaign, the reader would feel that he is part of the issue. So the use of personal pronouns like you, your, we, our, and indicative words like together will be very, very useful. Using these words establishes a connection between the author and the reader. This way, the issue is made personal and more important to the reader. The use of personal pronouns can draw the readers into the material that you are writing and make them feel more involved immediately. Make the audience believe you are speaking only to them. Number 4, rhetorical questions. When we say rhetorical questions, these are questions that are not supposed to be answered. Instead, they are asked for effect, to illustrate a point, or let the reader think. The use of questions that sometimes state the obvious can convince the reader to agree on the points being presented. So a few sample beginning questions or rhetorical questions are the following. You can start by saying or by asking, do you really think? Is it really worth? Do you want to be part of? What would happen if? And how could you possibly? Lastly, how could your conscience cope with? So these are strong rhetorical questions. Number 5, using evidence. This involves the use of facts, figures, or quotes from experts to highlight the writer's authority and make the arguments presented more convincing. When there is already the numbers or the number, most of the time, people are convinced that what they are reading are true because they know that these are well researched, that the author really made sure that uh, he supported his claims with facts or with the numbers or with the statistics. Okay, so that is using evidence. Next, repetition. This technique involves repeating keywords, phrases, or ideas to appeal to the readers, like what Napoleon Hill said. Any idea, plan, or purpose may be placed in the mind through repetition of thought. So when you repeat or when you keep on repeating a statement or a phrase, it can never be or it can really be absorbed by the reader or by the listener. So it's really a good idea to use repetition. Like politicians often repeat words and phrases, which is a highly effective way to increase the odds listeners believe what they're saying. That's why um, um, when it's election time, politicians would do commercials and they will be repeatedly shown on television stations, and that's how people get to know or get familiar with um, the different politicians running for office. In Thinking Fast and Slow, Daniel Kahneman touches on the behavioral psychology research about repetition, and this is what he said. Anything that makes it easier for the associative machine, like your brain, to run smoothly will also bias beliefs. A reliable way to make people believe in falsehoods is frequent repetition, because familiarity is not easily distinguished from truth. So, just because they have heard it several times, it doesn't really mean that what they are hearing are true, but this is what comes to their mind and this is what they become more familiar with. Okay? So that's why this is really a good device or technique if you want to persuade people. Next one, adjectives and adverbs. Using carefully selected adjectives and adverbs make it possible for the writer to influence how the readers feel. So, uh, of course, we all know adjectives are used to describe nouns and pronouns, and while adverbs modify verbs and other uh, adverbs. So, with them, with the use of modifiers, um, the readers have a clearer picture of your claims or the author's claim. So they can decide if they really understand, if they really agree with the what the reader or what the author is saying. Next, association. This technique tries to link an object or an idea with something already liked or desired by the target audience, such as wealth, success, pleasure, and security. So you use words or you use things that you know that your readers would really want for themselves. And in that way, you get the attention or you catch the attention of your target audience. Like, um, like for example, the those who are into uh, um, networking business, they would uh, present what people would really want to have for themselves. So in that way, they can really catch the attention of their target audience, and then later on they can persuade them to join their business. Okay, like they will show them bundles of bills. They would show them the uh, sports cars, condominiums, and the travels that they had because of their business. So in that way, people are lured to believe that they are going to have the same things if they are going to join the business. So that's an example of association. Number 9 is bandwagon. So, commonly used in advertisements, this persuasion technique makes the audience believe the idea that everyone is doing it or that everyone likes something. It will make you feel that you're the last person or you're the only person left behind or you are not part of the trend. So, you would want to be part of it. Okay, bandwagon works on the human psychology of wanting to belong. So the majority opinion represented by the bandwagon approach exerts social pressure. So ad writers recognize this and use the bandwagon appeal by writing persuasive statements like, join the thousands who have chosen to switch to better network. Okay, so that way, people will join them or will switch networks too. Lastly, experts. This means relying on expert advices from trusted people like doctors, scientists, and other professionals for things that the audience do not know. Okay. So, the use of the names of experts and their advices, like if you will use the famous doctors, okay, let's say you're talking about um, how to achieve a beautiful skin, then you may think of a name of a very popular um, dermatologist in the country. Or if you are If you are talking about um, different medicines that are really effective on certain diseases, then you can use the name of a famous doctor and his claims of which are really very helpful in curing these certain diseases. So once there are already the statement of experts, then um, people will think that these experts are risking their credibility to support an object or idea, and it will make the persuasion more effective. Okay, people will think that these experts are not going to risk their names. If this is not true, they will not say it, or else they will lose their credibility. Okay, so these class are, or these guys are our 10 language features or language devices that are really effective in persuasion or when writing to persuade. But there are a lot more. There are more than 10 techniques that you can um, search for. Okay, but these are the 10 most effective, I guess. Okay, so I really hope you learned something today, and I am going to see you again next time. Bye, everyone.